Hello everyone, welcome back. Thank you for watching. This is Sherry and it's great to have you back with me again. Today I am working on a process video, still using the December hip kit. This is the main kit that I am working from, and that is the only kit that I actually purchased in December, was just the main. And I've got a background here that I'm starting with. I'm going to be using a black cardstock background, and you see the leaf pattern there. That is a cut file from the cut shop, which again I've been using a lot of the cut files from there recently. That's Ashley Horton's shop, and she has some great files. So I found that leaf cut file and I thought that'd be fun to work with, so I cut that out on my silhouette in white. And I wanted to start with a black background because I had a day I wanted to use a lot of color on this. So what I'm doing is I'm using just regular acrylic paint. These are just regular paints that you can find at your local craft store like Michael's, and sometimes you can get, they're very inexpensive. You can get them on sale or find them for 80 cents a bottle. So that's what I'm starting with, is just straight acrylic paint. And I'm just using just a straight brush stroke, and I wanted the look of the brush strokes, I wanted that to be part of what I wanted to do. Was I'm using an older brush, kind of like a little, it's a wide brush, a little over an inch wide, maybe a couple inches maybe, and just so you could see the brush strokes. I did want that effect, and I'm just using a couple of brush strokes there of different colors, and that's going to be the base for my background. And again, you know me, I love color and I love to use a black background. I love to use black with color because I do love the way that it just pops off of that page. So I'm using the black background with the regular acrylic paints. And I didn't do anything to prep the page before. I'm not using a lot of, water. The acrylic paints is just straight on the cardstock, and I didn't have too bad of a warping effect. It didn't really warp that bad because, like I said, I didn't use any water. I didn't add any water to it. I'm just using the straight acrylic paint on the background. And so I'm just rinsing my brush in between, again just using a little bit of that acrylic paint in some bright colors that I loved. Again, I really didn't have a plan, except that I did know I wanted a bright, colorful background, which prompted me to use the acrylic paints. I do love to use acrylics on my layouts. And so what I'm going to do is skip through the drying of this. I did use my heat gun on the background to dry it, but I didn't want to bore you with that, so I edited that out of the video. But I did use my heat gun so that I could start working on the layout right away. And I'm going to leave the cut file in white. I do like the white contrast with the color behind it, so that's going to be the base. And you see on the cut file, I didn't poke out all of the little pieces. When it cuts, it actually cuts all of the little openings on the leaves. And when I started taking it off of the silhouette mat, some of the pieces were not coming out of the leaves, and I kind of liked that effect, so I just went with it and left it like that. I like some of them filled in and some of them not, so I just left it like that. It does come with cuts on all of the leaves, so if you wanted to sit and poke out all of those little pieces and have completely open leaves, you could certainly do that, because that is the way the cut file is designed. I just went with how it came off the page, and I really liked the effect of not having them all poked out, so I just went with that. But I did want to let you know that, so if you did purchase the file, it is actually created so that all of the leaves have the little areas punched out in them. So it's a beautiful file. You can use it in different sizes too. So that's what I went with. Now what I'm going to be doing is I wanted to back that on this black and white stripe paper that came in the kit. And this is a beautiful paper, probably one of my favorites. I am just into that black and white paper. So I didn't want to waste it. I don't like using a whole page like that, especially when I don't have very much of it. I think I just had the one sheet. I don't like using a whole page to back a layout on, because then I lose it. So I like to make the most of it. So what I did was I just cut a square out in the center, so at least I have that bit of square left to work with. And then I'm going to be mounting the layout on that background. And I want to say Yes, that's Heidi Swap. That black and white stripe is from Heidi Swap, and it's from her September Skies collection, and it's called Meadow Bloom. That side, the black and white, is one side. On the other side, there is like a teal green or a teal blue with white flowers on it, a white floral pattern on the other side. But I wanted to use it on the black and white side because that was my favorite. I love that design. So to give the layout more structure, I did want to still put something sturdy behind that. So I layered that stripe piece on a piece of, again, black cardstock. Not for any other reason other than to make it stronger, because if I had mounted that straight on that square, I was afraid it would be a little bit flimsy. So I went ahead and mounted the stripe on black cardstock just for the sake of making it a little bit more stronger and a little bit more sturdy. So I'm going to apply it to the cardstock first, and then I'm going to put my layout over the top of it. And again, like I said, I will put it on the backing before I do any other embellishing, just to make it sturdy, and it's a lot easier to roll on the backing before I do anything to the layout. So here I am trimming down the edges of the layout. I was trying to be careful because I didn't want to lose the effect of the brush strokes, but I did want to cut it down enough where you could see that black and white stripe around the border. And so I'm going to be working with it a couple times here to get the size that I want. You can see there it still didn't show enough of the border. So I decided to go back and trim a little bit more off of the edges to still give that effect, a little bit more effect of the border. And again, I try to just skim a little bit off of each side so that I didn't lose all of those brush strokes. I really wanted that effect to still be on there, but yet I did want to see that black and white border. So I decided to go back around and just give it a little bit more of a shave around the edges, which worked out. So, and now I'm going to go ahead and start adhering it to the background. And my ATG was like at the end of the adhesive, and I don't know about yours, but mine, when it gets to the end, it's really hard to pull out. I have to really drag it when it gets to the end, and that's the point that it was at. So I decided to just do one part, and then I'm going to just, you can see me fighting with it and trying to apply the adhesive because it was so hard to get out of the ATG. And so I just rolled it, and I was just doing a little bit at a time, and then bam, I ran out. So I decided to go ahead and change it, but I didn't bore you with that. And then once I refilled it, then it comes out easily. It's not a problem at all. So just getting that applied to the background really well. And there we go. Now I'm ready to start applying everything. And I'm, again, using a photo of my grandson. I have plenty of those to use. Of course, I take pictures of him all the time. So this is one that I'm taking of him, and he had his cute little rugged jeans with little, you know, rugged jeans on and vest. So anyway, I thought it was cute. So again, I'm going to use that black and white striped paper. Love that paper, and I thought it would tie in well to use it on the actual layout behind the photo. And what I'm going to do is just go through some of the papers in the kit and find some that will work out for the layout. I went with this yellow polka dot paper, which is from, I want to say Amy Tan. I cut the branding strip off. I'm sorry. Trying to find which one that is here. I'm sorry. I don't remember which one that is. Here it is. It is from the Stitched Collection, Amy Tan Stitched Collection, the thrifted page paper. And then I'm cutting, that's on the back side is the stripes of the different colors. And what I wanted to do was cut that gray from the back page, and I wanted to put that across the page to kind of give that photo almost like a landing place, a place to rest. So I'm going to use that strip towards the bottom. And then I'm continuing to go through and just finding pieces that I can add to the layout. I decided to pull out one of the cards from the kit. The paper was Heidi Swap, September Skies. It's called Afternoon Breeze. And on one side are all of these cards. They're like, I think they're 4x4 cards. The other side is a really pretty, like a pink, not pink, excuse me, green and blue chevron. And so I pulled out that Happiness Is card. I think it says happiness is. I'm sorry. When I'm editing and doing the voiceover, the video is a little bit smaller and it's a little bit blurred. So I can't really make out what that is. I want to say it's happiness is, but if it's wrong, that's why I can barely see it. And then I'm pulling some ephemera from the Amy Tangerine ephemera pack, and it's from the Stitched collection. I'm just pulling out a few pieces that I can, you know, layer around the edge of that photo. And the colors were right. I loved the way the colors looked. And so I'm just going through the kit and finding some pieces that I thought would work. And I'm going to go ahead and apply the cut file. Now, if you notice, I don't apply adhesive everywhere on the layout because I don't want to, you know, it's hard to apply adhesive to a piece like that. So what I will do is I will just apply adhesive to the area behind the photo. And it's enough that it holds it down and it doesn't go anywhere, and then you don't see it from, you know, because it's behind the photo. So that's what works for me, and I just put some hot glue behind there, and now I'm going to be stacking up my photo, adding some layers there, and put it right over the top of that so you'll never see it. And once it's in a page protector, it lays, you know, it lays flat anyway, which once it gets in a page protector, I have a stack of layouts. I think a lot of people do, thankfully. I don't think I'm the only one, but I create and just keep stacking them until I can't take it anymore, and then I'll break down and get them in albums. And so I'm going to start just layering the pieces on here, and I've got the base down with that strip and then the photo down. And now I'm going to just start layering some pieces around there. And I'm so ready to jump into my January kit. I still have, believe it or not, I have a lot of December left. I still have some other layouts behind this in queue that I've used a December kit on, but I still have so much left. So I'm amazed at how much product I can actually get out of a kit and how many layouts I can get done with it. You know, especially when you're not using big sheets of paper for the background, which I tend to use a cardstock like this and do a mixed media. Your kits really go a long way because that paper is not getting used as quickly. So I'm thinking I probably need to jump in and maybe just really use some for the backgrounds to really get through that kit because there's just so much product. And the January kit is gorgeous, and January was one month where I got one of everything, I think. I didn't have much restraint in January. And so the kits were just gorgeous. So I want to get to that kit so I can get that done before February comes. And I'm really excited about the kits. I know I talk about them a lot, but I love the hip kits. I don't think I've had one a month that I've been unhappy with. And even more so, the add-ons are just fabulous. And so I'm really excited about them right now. It really helps my creativity when I'm working with products and with kits that I love, because I think when you love something, it's a lot easier to work with it. You know, I've been on some design teams things before where, you know, maybe for a store and they give you product that you have to work with, and it's maybe something that isn't my favorite, and I have the hardest time creating with something that isn't a product that I like. So I think when you have products that you love, when you have things that you really like, you are much more productive, you're much more creative. And so I've learned that that's how I do my best, is I've got to have products that I love, and I've got to have kits that I love. I've got to have things that really inspire me. And I find that right now that's what I get with the hip kits. I get that with the kits alone. I get that with their design team. With the Facebook group, I'm just really inspired right now with the hip kits. So I know I talk about them a lot right now. That's primarily all I'm scrapbooking with, because that's all I have the time right now to get through. And so I don't have another kit. I do have lots of other things in my stash. I have older kits from other kit clubs in my stash that I'm trying to get through. So far, I haven't been able to make a whole lot of headway because I'm still just trying to get through my current kits with the hip kit. So, and I'm okay with that. You know what? It's going to be there. I'm going to have pictures forever. So I do it for the enjoyment of it, not to be on a time clock, this isn't my job. This is a hobby. And so, you know, if I get 4 layouts done in a month, great. If I get 12 done in a month, great. I'm happy with that. So I've just got to do it. You've got to do it to where you enjoy it, and to remove the pressure from it, which I've learned in years. You know, it's not to be about pressure. It's about enjoying the process of it. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. So I am loving the hip kits, and you know, I'll put a link if you haven't heard of them. I'm sure if you watch my channel you've heard about them, because that's pretty much all I scrap with, but I will give you a link to the hip kits so you can check them out. Also to the cut shop, I will put a link to that. If I didn't say that earlier, I will say that. I'll put a link to Ashley Horton's cut shop, where you can find some great cut files to use. So anyway, getting back to the layout, I've adhered several things down. You know, committing to what I've got there. The wood veneers are from Avalicious. They were in the kit. The flare on the left that I just added was from my stash. And then the red clip up at the top of the photo, that was also from my stash. That's from Studio Calico. And I had those in my stash. The puffy stickers were from the kit. They came in the kit, and they're from Avalicious as well. Really cute puffy stickers. So I'm adding a few finishing touches on there with those puffy stickers. And liked the way this is coming out. I was really pleased, you know, at this point. Feel like it's wrapping up well, and I'm enjoying, you know, the outcome of it so far, which is good. And there you see my little, up to the right there, my little container of labels. I've said this before, I love labels. So I do a lot of print and cut labels where print them on my I print them on my printer and cut them in my Silhouette, and I will have a cut and print session where I just print like pages of all different colors and put them in my little container so they're ready to go for me, because I do love labels. I love that for the date or for little journaling spots. Use them a lot in Project Life, so those are always ready to go, and I do like that. If you need some labels, I know Caitlin Schaefer has some free ones on her blog, and they're every color that you can imagine. I mean, she has so many colors, and they're free. So you get a whole sheet of free labels that you can download. You can print them out and cut them by hand, which I've done. You know, I sitting and watching a movie, I can take some scissors and cut some out. Now that I have, since I have my Cameo, I just print them in my Cameo print and cut, and I've got labels galore in every color. So I'll put a link to her shop as well. So if you want to check that out, they're free. You can download. You don't have to have a Cameo. You know, like I said, I've taken scissors and cut them out by hand, and they're very easy. So I'll put a link to her blog where you can find those labels if you need labels. It's a great place to go. Okay, and so I'm just wrapping up here, putting some finishing touches on. I did add a little label with the date stamp, and another Avalicious puffy sticker there with a camera. And then what I was trying to do, I just decided to use one of these thickers, and they're so pretty. I love how they look. And so I'm going to be applying that, just using the Hooray as the title. These are Dear Lizzie. And I just thought that was perfect. I just lined it up there on that strip, and that became my title. And thought it was a perfect place for it. So I'm going to go ahead and be wrapping up here. I am going to show you some close-up shots here to come. And again, just want to thank you so much for watching, and I certainly hope that you enjoyed it. I'm going to finish off here. I forgot I am going to add some ink splatters to the layout. And I'm just using regular ink that I actually got at Michael's and a fat brush, and I'm just going to drip some ink spots onto the layout to finish that up. Alright, so again, let me just say thank you so much for watching, and I appreciate your comments and your encouragement and your support, and I do hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye-bye.